Well, hello. Gemini speaks. Gemini speaks. Boom, boom, da, boom, da, boom. What are we gonna talk about today? Ooh, 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 ooh. Gemini speaks. So, what are we gonna talk about today? Hello there. As you know, this is Gemini Speaks. Indeed, it's me again. So, this is like a continuation of my introduction, because you can't really fully introduce yourself. I mean, the whole process is going to be introduction, really, but you can't really introduce yourself in one video of 7 minutes. That's edited out anyway, and people are always going to misconstrue what you say. Difference of opinion. People get offended by, well, two major things actually: politics and religion, right? If I say something, they're going to take and run with it, and it's not about that. That's something that I said in the moment. It's not the full idea of what it is I believe necessarily. It comes to my mind at the moment, I share it. I'm pretty sure you know what world that is. I gotta stop saying but anyway. Really, gotta cut that out. So there's gonna be a bunch of random things I'm gonna talk about today as an introduction to my introduction. A further introduction to my other introduction. Gemini Speaks. What is that about? We have to talk about things. I mean, communication is key. Key to life. And most of us communicate poorly. We just do. We don't say what we really feel because we don't want to offend anybody. We don't hurt anyone's feelings. We don't want to deal with the confrontation. We don't want to deal with the fallout. What are they going to say if I say this? I mean, I'm no different. Constantly I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't feel like going through it. And sometimes it's not worth your time, don't get me wrong. But other times, you have to confront people. You have to say, I didn't like this, or this is how I feel about that, or this is my opinion. You might not agree. We don't have to agree. We can disagree to not agree, or agree not to disagree, or agree to disagree. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of what Gemini Speaks is about. It's about talking about things, some things we like, some things we agree with, some things we're offended by, some things we never thought to discuss. We're just out there. We're just out there on a limb. Me, by myself, and I. Or me, myself, and I. I think it's more real, actually, when you put raw footage up. That's off subject. Or not really, because I don't have a subject. Other than my introduction. I'm going to have to edit all this stuff. Edit it. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's what editing is for. That's what editing is. I'm trying to get comfortable. I think it's because I'm always computer, my phone. My right hand is just like, leave me alone. I'm tired. Hope it's not carpal tunnel. Jesus. I'm not trying to be that person. So I try to rest this hand every once in a while. It's like it's resting right now. I'm really going to try hard. Don't do anything with this hand. Don't. Yeah, so we have to talk about things. And that's what Gemini Speaks is about. I don't really want to apologize for things that might be offensive because these are just thoughts and ideas and they change and there's something to discuss. They're not like written in stone. You know what I mean? They're not like, this is how I feel and that's it and you should feel that way and if you don't feel that way, F you. No. This is just like, this is a thought I had. You can listen to it. You can form an opinion about it. But you don't have to be nasty like. You don't have to be like, I'm not watching those videos anymore because she said this one thing. This one little section right here. I didn't like it. I don't like her. If you don't like me because I have crazy glasses or something. Or that's even stupider, but we always have a reason why we don't like someone. In America, it's usually the color of your skin, or your sex, or your sexual orientation. My feeling is this. What you do is your business. What you believe is your business. Where you work, how much money you make, how you decide to live, who you decide to be with, what you decide to put on, what you want to call yourself, is your business. Just as long as your business is not interfering with my business of living and all the things that I'm doing, and it doesn't affect me in a negative way. What does that mean? So you have to be tolerant, right? You have to be tolerant of other people's ideas. You have to be tolerant of other people's whatever. Because we live to be individuals. And then when you're an individual, you got a problem with it. So we're going to talk about these things. You know, this is in the vein of the whole experience, is that you are not here to agree with everything that I'm going to say. You're just here to listen and say, wow, she's talking about some crazy shit. What's she going to talk about next? That's all it's about. That's all it's about. Or, you know, well, you know, she said something that I really hadn't thought about it that way. Okay. I don't agree, but, you know, I can kind of see that. I can kind of relate. So that's what it's about. That's all that it's about. You know what I'm saying? So don't get offended, for God's sakes. You know, sticks and stones might break your bones or something like that, but words shouldn't offend you. They're words. They're thoughts. They're ideas. I'm not coming to take your house. What else do I want to say about Gemini Speaks in the introduction? I'm going to say silly things. I'm going to say things one day because it came to my mind, and say something completely different another day, probably, because it came to my mind, and I'm sharing it with you. So there are going to be some contradictions, possibly. And I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm not going to try to just do a video, you know, all melancholy and, you know, no energy and no sense of humor and, you know, this and that, and you shoot me and put me to sleep. Why would I want to watch that? So yes, I'm putting on, you know, the stuff that's going to make this worth your time. Worth my time. I get bored with myself sometimes. I'm like, stop being so boring. And I don't mean like boring, but you know, like you get into a routine and sometimes you're like, cut it out. Let's do something different today. Let's think something different today. Go somewhere different today. Eat something different. Because life is about exploring. Exploring ideas as well as places. I'm going to take you with me where I go. I'm going somewhere. It's going to be a different lifestyle from what you might do. What you might think I should do. Because you wouldn't do it, so I shouldn't do it. Like, I don't even understand that either. Like, just because you're not doing it, what does that have to do with me not doing it? Just because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean it's not a thing to do. You know, I saw some show. Now, this might be something I wouldn't do, and I don't recommend anyone do. This woman has had 22 babies out of her body with the same man. That's crazy. I'm sorry. You cannot give adequate attention to 22 babies. You can't. Anyway, what kind of life is that? She spent her whole life pregnant. And this is the crazy part. The woman is like 40. She's had 22 kids. She's like 40. Maybe 43 or something like that. When did she have her first child? Think about this. So that would be one of the things that I might mention. I just mentioned it. And you might be thinking, wow. And you might be thinking, what's wrong with that? And that would be fine too. I would think maybe you're crazy, because that means she spent her whole life pregnant and she started having her first child when she was like 13 or 12. Why were they doing that when she was 13 or 12? Wasn't she out at the park playing with her friends or teenagers and, I don't know, looking at boys and saying they're cute, but I'm not sleeping with them? That's what she should have been thinking. Anyway, there's some show. It's on one of the channels, one of the premium channels or something. But anyway, it's crazy talk. It's crazy. It might even be on YouTube, actually. Check it out. 22 kids. Well, the show starts when she has 21. They go on vacation because they never get to go on vacation. No, she does not come back pregnant. Oh, yes, she does. That's crazy. But we can just talk about it. And I can say it's crazy. And that should be okay. Because I'm allowed to say what I want to say. Because Gemini is speaking. This is the whole point. Gemini is speaking. Gemini is saying blah, blah, blah. And you're going to say,